I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Here we go with part 2 with the phenomenal Butch Hartman. You ready, Chuck?
Let's go.
Let's do it. What I love is, and I think that what parents and caregivers will appreciate, because the online world can be a very scary place for our young people.
Sure.
Yes,
And sometimes I'm scared by it, frankly. But I love that the Noog Network, the app, is a safe place for kids. So it's very family friendly. Clearly that was a choice. So
yeah, absolutely.
What made you go that route?
You know, I'm a dad, number one. I've got 2 daughters. They're grown now. They're 20 and 17. So they're.
You have a daughter that's 20
I have
and
a
you're
daughter.
only 28?
He's only 28.
How's that work?
How do you do that?
It's my time machine. Don't tell anyone.
He's a very virile 8-year-old man.
Yes, very exactly.
When
I was
he
very
met his
active
wife.
at a young age. No. No, but my
Back to
daughters.
family friendly.
Yeah, back to family friendly, exactly. No, my daughters are 20 and 17. But then when they were growing up, you know, again, different world than when we grew up. There were a lot more channels available. The internet wasn't huge when they were little, but it was getting there. And now with the phones and the tablets, those weren't out, but they were starting to come out.
Right.
But there was a lot of stuff you had to really start protecting them from. Yeah. Even when I would find a family-friendly show, I'll just use, like, let's say American Idol. I don't know how friendly it is, but I'd watch American Idol.
Right.
And, okay, we can watch American Idol. This is a pretty clean show. But the commercials in between the show were so bad we couldn't even watch that. So I thought if I ever get a chance to do my own thing, and even with Fairly Oddparents and working with Nickelodeon is great because it's a very family-friendly network. So that's what I love. And I've been approached by many studios. Hey, do you want to come do a raunchy cartoon or a racy cartoon? I won't do it. I won't. I just won't. I couldn't. For me, I couldn't do that. And so I wanted to create a family-friendly place for kids, and that's what I want, a safe place for kids. And people have said, well, you know, it'll never sell. Family stuff doesn't sell. It's like, oh, really? Look at Pixar. Why don't you go to Disney? Tell me family-friendly stuff doesn't sell. There's a lot to be said for the family-friendly world, and I love entertaining kids. I don't want to be embarrassed about what I do ever, you know. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. I can always show my kids, my grandkids can grow up looking at all the stuff I've done and never be embarrassed.
Well, and when you're spoken about out in the, I mean, people know you're a man of integrity, and I think that's interesting. The point you said that you will turn down that work, and I think there's that. Oh my gosh, if it's offered to me, I can't turn it down. And you know, voice actors have that all the time. I mean, there's things when I'm like, I don't really want to say that. I really don't feel good about saying that. And people say, like, well, gosh, should I, or should I use a pseudonym and do it? And and how could you kind of speak to those people about following your conscience?
Yeah, well, you know, it is one of those things. Again, it goes back to being confident and being brave enough to, first of all, get out here. Let's say you land that big job. And if it's something that compromises your principles, that's a decision you have to make. I mean, I don't want to encourage anyone to do anything that they don't feel good about. But if it's me and I know that I'm not going to be able to sleep after I leave, let's call it getting convicted. If you get convicted right here in your spirit or your heart, you know, I just wouldn't do it because I think you're not going to be able to sleep later on, you know. That's just me. But again, you might do something that's a little racy now, and 5 years from now, you don't feel bad about it. That's different. But I think they say that a corrupt company, or bad company corrupts good habits. I think that's I think it's a scripture in the Bible. But I try and, you know, again, I'm not trying to be above anybody or anything like that. But I don't like to corrupt myself if I don't have to. And I think you can. But I do think if you pass up that raunchy job, that a better job's going to show up for you. That's what I think. I think the door will open.
Oh, absolutely.
If
Well, you know, if you're saying, well, I'm going to be, you know, if you're so willing to just sort of step into what other people want and not be who you are, I mean, you're going to be that person all your life, and then you're sort of lost. I mean, I think you have to stand, and sometimes you just have to.
You do, and you know what? Like I said, if you stand and you go like, look, I'm not going to do this. I really think that it's something better is going to open up on the other side of that for you. I really think that. So, and again, it comes down to just being confident and getting out there. I didn't get that job, but I'm going to go get this other one. You know?
I remember my good friend. This is a perfect example of that. I didn't understand that what you just talked about back then. And a good friend of mine, Scott Rummel, I was talking to him one day, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, my agents called me, and you know, they offered me this campaign for, I believe it was like, you know, Budweiser, and it was a big, gigantic campaign.
I'll bet, yeah.
And so the agent said, hey, Scott, you know, they called, they listened to your blog, they love your voice, they want to use you, they want you to be. And he said, oh, and what's it for? The Budweiser. He goes, oh, I'm really sorry, I have to turn that down.
Wow.
And they were like, Scott, this is like a $200,000 campaign.
Wow.
And he's like, it doesn't matter if it's $1 million campaign. My children are, 7 years old and 9,
Yeah,
and
great.
I don't want them hearing their dad on TV promoting beer, because
Wow.
that's not. And I couldn't believe,
Yeah.
because now we're talking hard, cold cash.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Sure.
And he was like, and when I talked to him about it, it was just like, to him, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even think about
Yeah.
it.
And look how that changed your way of thinking, I'll bet,
It
too.
completely changed my way
Yeah.
of thinking. And then
Yeah.
when I saw him go from like $250 was peanuts, because what came afterwards
Yeah.
was abundance. It was tenfold.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a real Christian philosophy, because that's like if you, it's called sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow. Some people call it karma. I call it sowing and reaping.
Yeah.
You're going to get back what you give. And I think if you plant goodness and kindness, is what's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with people doing these sorts of things. If that's what you want to do, absolutely.
Right,
Not
right.
knocking
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
But just for me, like, to create a whole network, I could have created anything I wanted, which was
Yeah.
the awesome blessing. I was like, wow, I could do anything I want here. I got to do something kids are going to love and want to grow up with
Yeah.
and want to watch over, and have the
Yeah.
parents love it too. Because I know if I was a parent, I'd want to make sure my friend. I want parents to go, okay, Noog Network, you can watch that.
Well,
Go
I'm
play.
so
Watch the
excited
Noog
for
Network,
you
know.
because
Buy lots of nickels.
Buy lots of nickels.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
buy lots
Buy
of Noog
lots of
nickels.
nickels.
That's
But
the
I
main
love
thing.
that you have all of these projects that you probably have been waiting in the queue, and then you have some in your brain
Yep.
that now they have a place to live, and I'm so excited to see
Oh,
Yeah,
what
that's
exactly.
really,
happens.
really cool.
Well, I'm like,
It's just like
hopefully
this
a year from now we'll have like I
floodgates.
said, we'll have 20 more projects on there.
Yeah.
And I'm building a team as I go. I've got a small staff now. We're going to have a bigger staff as we go.
That's cool.
And the cool thing is too, it's something I'm doing on the side, on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like life doesn't depend on it at the moment. So that's exciting too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, that is really
the
cool.
pressure is very low on it, which is exciting.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean you can't buy Noog nickels though.
No.
Still buy
No,
the
no,
Noog
you
nickels.
have to buy tons of.
The NoogNetwork.com,
If you
guys.
start buying Noog nickels now, you can't watch VO Buzz Weekly anymore. We banned
Right.
you.
That's right. Thank you. I
I
appreciate
just
that.
love.
Yeah, I agree with the ban.
I love just the variation on the eyes. They're so expressive. You do such good eyes.
Oh
Butch.
gosh, thank you. That's very
You-
kind of you.
You would have been
Never
an
heard
eye
that
doctor
before.
if you were not brilliant doing what you're doing. Yeah,
Oh,
so go to
so-
NoogNetwork.com, you guys. Follow them
Yep.
on social
Or
media.
go
follow
to the
Butch,
App Store,
go to
and you
the
can get it
app.
on the App Store.
Yeah.
And we're on social. We're on every single social media platform that is
Yes.
out there, including ones that aren't created yet. We'll be on them too.
Beautiful. There's a lot of actors out there, voice actors that are watching this show right now. Obviously, you are in the middle of the business.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You're not only a creator, director, producer, writer, the whole freaking shebang. So, what advice can you give them? Okay, because you're also an actor.
Yeah, did
Okay?
acting for a while. Yeah.
So what advice can you give them on what they need to do to stay on the straight and narrow to actually get to the point where they are positioned to have success?
That's a great question. I think I've already kind of touched on this, but it just goes back to it. Just be persistent and don't give up. I mean, seriously, a lot of people hit that first rejection, that
Yeah.
first wall. Like you're in the audition. I made it to the audition, then you don't get it. You're waiting for the phone to ring, you don't get it. And some people give up. But why would you want to give up? It's what you love to do.
Yeah.
You know? The only people who succeed are people who don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, every presidential candidate, you see them out there campaigning for 2 years or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And the ones who don't win, but they were out there for 2 years, but the ones who do win are so glad they stuck with it, aren't
Yeah.
they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody in life, like these Major League Baseball players or actors or anybody, you know, people who, you know, even like I'll use John Travolta. His career was great for a while, then it went down, then it came back. I mean,
Yeah.
but he stuck with it. I mean,
Yeah.
these are examples of people who just haven't given up, and I think just don't give up. It's really easy. I mean, you guys didn't give up.
No.
You're sitting right here doing this awesome
We
show.
might give up
But what is
after
it they
today.
say when it seems like things...
After my show, you know, Butch, we had you on the show. We just gave up. It was bad. It was
Butch
a
is
bad
our
show.
farewell episode. No.
Thank you very much. No, but you know, I would say don't give up, and try to keep that passion inside of you. I always tell people this too. I think the reason I can't think of someone who gave me advice is because I'm always giving advice all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But I know I've gotten advice from tons of people over the years. But I would just say, if you want to do anything, I would just say hang out with people that do what you do. You know, when I went to Cal Arts, I was around animators 24 hours a day, and then I got out of Cal Arts and I was in the business 24 hours a day with people that do what I do.
Right.
If you're going to be a baseball player, don't hang out with short order cooks. You know, if you want to be a short order cook, don't hang out with nurses. I mean, you're not going to understand what it.
Right,
that's
right.
why. You know, nerd cons and these conventions
Yeah.
are so big because people are hanging out with people that do what they do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hang out. Well, I don't know any artists. Find some.
Yeah.
You have the internet now. You can find anybody to
they're
hang out with.
everywhere.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
kind of a no excuse.
Yeah, I want
policy.
to create my own show, but I don't know how. Find a group. I have all these writers I work with and young people who I work with. They at the end of the day, when work is over, they go work more. They go home. Like I do, I go home and I work more. They go out with their writer friends and they write a script after they've written all day at work. They work on their passion. They work on what they do because it's what they love to do.
Yeah.
People that tell me all the time, they say, "Hey, have a great weekend." I go, "The weekend means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I work on the weekend.
Yes.
You know, I know it's Saturday. I know I don't have to go into work, but I have an office at home I work at.
Yeah.
And I do it all the time. I don't play golf. I don't play tennis. I mean, I could, I guess, but I would rather be drawing.
How
or
do you stay
writing.
in shape?
Right.
I work out.
Do you
and
have
I work
do you
out.
have a
And I-
workout
His
studio at
forearms
home
are like
too?
Yeah,
Or do you
Pythons.
work out while you're writing?
yeah. I lift weights with this hand.
you're on
and I
the
swim.
you're
got
on
a
the
20-pound
elliptical
pen.
drawing with one hand.
No, like I said, my wife's a fitness trainer. She
Yes.
keeps me in shape. But I mean, and that's another thing too. You've got to stay healthy. I mean, you know, I'm going to go out and party with my friends. I've seen so many people sell shows.
Yeah.
I've been, you know, working in the industry. I see people sell shows one day. Monday they've sold their show. For the next 3 months, they're out partying with their friends and having long lunches because, oh, they're the show creator guy now.
Yeah.
And then their show starts getting made and it doesn't come together the way they thought it would because they weren't paying attention to it. And, you know, that's your opportunity. And there's another piece of advice I can give you. When you get that opportunity, don't blow it. Don't say, well, I can get another one. Oh, another one will come along. Another one will come along.
Yeah.
It might come along, but it might take a while to come along.
And
It
they
doesn't-
never come along the same way.
They don't come along the same way,
Yeah.
and they don't come along exactly, or really in a timely fashion. You might sell a show when you're 30, and then you're like, let's say you don't do it well or whatever, something happens. It might take a long time to get that second show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So embrace what you have and really treat it like it's your last chance, because it might be. You know, I'm not saying it's your last chance, but really work hard at it, man. Make it great. If you're a songwriter, make sure your song is good. You know, I wrote all my own theme songs. That was fun. That was one of the
that
things.
must have been a blast.
That's one of the things I
man.
wanted to
Yeah,
do when I
Yeah.
sold my show. I'm like, I want to write my own theme songs. I've never written a song before, but I had a composer, an awesome guy named Guy Moon. He's done my music for years on all my shows, and I'm like, I got these poems, for Fairly Oddparents. A guy named Ron Jones wrote the Fairly Oddparents theme song, but I brought a poem to him, and I'm like, I want to be like Flintstones. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. I want it to be that memorable. But now we have, Timmy is an average kid, but it's cool seeing college students sing this song, like at pep rallies and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a song that's landed in their heads, and it's great. And that's another thing. If you ever sell your own show, write your own theme song, because a nice little check shows up every once in a while.
Yeah.
And you can pay your phone bill. It's really
Well,
nice.
all of your phone
Happy
bills.
All of
trip
your
to
phone
the
bills, yeah.
happy trip to the mailbox.
Yeah.
Well, you've mentioned your lovely wife, Julieann.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Julieann. Let's
Hi,
get
Hi,
to
Julieann.
Hi.
You guys founded a nonprofit called the Hartman House.
Yes.
Can you tell people what inspired you guys to do that and kind of what the mission is about it? It's pretty great.
Well, thanks for asking that. Yeah, the Hartman House is, we founded it in 2005. We had this woman come to our church. She was this lady, African-American woman. She was like 89 years old, and her name was Eleanor Workman, came to our church, and she has an orphanage in Haiti. And she had been coming to the church to ask for money because she had these big shipping containers from the U.S. that were in Haitian customs, and she needed the money to get them out of customs. And it wasn't a very big amount of money, but we kind of looked at each other and said, wow, we could do this. And so we gave her the money to get them out of customs. And we thought, this is kind of fun. We enjoy this. Because the look on this woman's face when we gave her this money was just beyond belief. It was one of the greatest joys we ever had.
Yeah.
And we thought, wow. And then we really helped this orphanage and thought, well, this is great. What else do you need? And then she said, well, we need a water system in the orphanage. So we gave some money to have the water put into this orphanage. We actually went down to Haiti to visit this orphanage. And if you think poverty's bad in the U.S., you should go to a place like Haiti. That's another thing.
gosh.
That's an eye-opener for anybody who wants to really realize the extreme advantages we have in this country. Go to a third world country. That's another story. But through that, we really decided we could do this all the time. We could have a foundation. So we decided to just start doing this all the time. We do home makeovers. We give kids school scholarships. We have a Thanksgiving harvest, we call it, where we give free turkeys. I think we've given away as much as 900 turkeys one Thanksgiving for needy families. We do whatever we can. When we build houses in Guatemala, and for families, and we kind of do what we can when we can,
That's really
and
cool.
it's really a blast. And it's a whole nother job, though. You want to have a foundation, but it's a whole nother job.
Of course.
And you need a lot of people to help you with it.
Yeah.
It really takes a lot of manpower to run a foundation, but it's another thing we do. And my wife is really the backbone of that.
That's really cool.
So how can people get involved or help you guys with what you're doing?
You can go to www.hartmanhouse.org and go on there. There's ways to donate. You can always reach me somehow through social media, and I'd be happy to take your donation.
Butch's address is 12829.
P.O. Box Noog.
And by the way, any money we get donated goes right to the foundation. We do not take a dime of it.
Well, and that's the thing that, there's
Coming from
corruption
you, I actually
everywhere.
believe that.
Thank you.
Yes.
There you
Look
go.
at that little 28-year-old face.
Yes, thank you. 28, I love it. Thank you so much. You're so kind, guys.
Have you gotten any advice along the way that has influenced or helped you?
Wow, that's a very good question. I've one piece of advice I got, and it wasn't from someone I've actually met in the flesh, but it was from the Bible. The advice is, love your neighbor as yourself. And I found, when I learned that years ago, I realized that if I love my neighbor as myself, I'm not going to be angry at them. I'm not going to I'm not going to try and covet what they have. I'm not going to get jealous. I'm not going to compare myself. Because it's really easy in this town to get jealous, and envious of other. Yeah.
And that's so bad for you, man.
Well, exactly. It's horrible for you because
it's like a dead end.
Eat you up in here. And what I want to try and get across to people is like, look, if you just go into this with a good attitude and a good heart, and don't get jealous, and don't try and compare yourself among other people, because all that's going to do is lead to you're never going to be good enough. There's always going to be someone with more than you. If you fall into that trap, you're going to just pull your hair out all the time. You see it all the time with celebrities that just they age overnight because they are so envious of what other people have. They want to dump their wife for the next new wife, or they want to dump their husband for the next new husband. It's like, I want what that person has. And soon enough, you fall into this trap, and you're like a dog chasing your tail all the time. And I don't ever want to be that way. I want to do what I love, the best I can do it. Hopefully people want to see it and want to enjoy it. And if they don't, that's fine. I gave it a try, But I used to get jealous of when I was younger. I'd get jealous. Oh, this guy's got this girl's got this. Why don't I have this? And before I knew it, I was sitting in my apartment just angry all the time, and I thought, I can't do this anymore.
Well, and all that energy that you're taking doing that, think about if you channeled that.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm channeling it into doing 65,000 things all the time. That's where the energy comes from.
So
when do you nap?
Exactly. So speaking of,
let's nap right now. That'll be a fun
You have this crazy demanding schedule, right? You are a writer, producer, director. You write theme songs.
Right.
You have kids.
He's a superhero.
All over the place. Now, you got a couple of kids.
Several thousand.
You're
my kid. Did you know that?
Yes, I know that.
Well, you're helping kids.
A new TV show
helping
on
other
app.
people's kids.
All these crazy things, and not to mention that you're also a husband.
Yes.
How do you balance all of that? How do you balance it all and have that?
Wow. What I'm going to say is going to sound really easy, and people go, "That's not that easy." There must be 65 million things you're doing.
Nothing easy is easy.
Yes. Remember that Budweiser we talked about?
You drink those.
No.
I don't do
Bud Light.
I just drink them.
Not encouraging. And by the way, we love the Budweiser Corporation. Just so you know. No. You know what it is? I really just find if you have joy in your heart, that's what it comes down to, is having joy and having peace in your heart. And I don't really necessarily meditate. I like to pray a lot. I do that kind of thing. People are out there going, "What are you, insane?" And it's like, but that's what I do. Some people meditate. I say, that's great. But I like to pray, and I like to get really centered. I like to, I do read the Bible a lot. It brings me peace. And I'm not pushing that on anybody. You can do whatever you want, but that's what works for me. And I have a great family. We really try and have a house of peace. I kind of grew up in a chaotic situation as a child, and so did my wife. And as we got together, we realized, look, we're going to have a house of peace right now. We're making a decision today to have a house of peace. This was years ago. And since that day, if something chaotic comes into the house, if we don't want to deal with it, we get it out of the house. If it's a fight, if it's an issue, if it's something, we just push it out of the house. Because we want to enjoy our lives. There's only, you're only on this earth for a very short time. And so I want to enjoy my time on the earth here. Why do I want to sit and be angry that I don't have what that guy has, or what that lady has, or what that country has? I'm just going to enjoy what I have right now and try and bring other people joy through what my measly little talent set, my skill set. I want to be able to bring some sort of enjoyment to other people, and have a good time doing it. And if I make it big, great. If I don't, at least I gave it. Like I said in this article, I just did an interview recently. I'd rather aim high and miss than aim low and hit it every time.
Yes.
So that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, you have such a essence about you of contentment and gratitude. I mean, you
Yep.
just can't not feel that.
Well, cool.
What do you think? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What do you still want to accomplish? Like, what's still out there for you?
Well, there's my time machine, and when I
Yes.
fix that, all this will turn out a lot differently.
I want to ride. I'll buy some nickels right now, dude.
Doc, are you telling me
Yeah,
that
how
you
many
built a
Noog
time
nickels
machine?
is that? That's a couple. We're
It's
gonna have
quite a
to.
bit of Noog nickels, Stacey. No, you know what? I'm hoping what I'm really believing for. I'm believing that the projects I'm doing now continue to go. Obviously, I'm believing we're going to have a whole bunch of more projects. I really want the Noog Network to just be a giant world-shaping, world-changing.
Absolutely.
Big giant.
You're on your way.
I
No
want
question.
it to be a big entertainment company, but I don't want to do it in the traditional way. I don't want to do it where it gets very corporate. I want to keep it kind of down home and grassroots and kind of make it a little more loose and free.
You want to be a mini Netflix for
You're
kids.
accessible.
That's exactly it. I mean, and Netflix, if you're listening, let's talk. No, but you know what though? I really do. I want to make it. I want to
No,
have
it's
a.
accessible, and that's what makes it, because it has that feeling about it that, it's relatable. It's not just a bunch of people around a conference
Yeah.
room saying, this is what we think is fun. I mean, you are
Exactly.
like the mayor of Funtown. I mean,
That,
you know.
I love that. The mayor of Funtown.
You
exactly.
know what people.
You need to get a shirt.
You've
that
been
It is
on
sash. Mayor of I'm the mayor of
Julieann, the
Funtown.
holidays are coming.
Exactly.
Mayor of Funtown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I really want it to be. I want it to be big, obviously, so we can employ a lot of people. It'd be great to make a living off of it, obviously, so I could just go to work and do this all day long. I love what I do, don't get me wrong, but I want to do this too. And I want to just be able to just keep doing what I do and keep making cartoons as long as I can make them,
Yeah.
I want to paint pictures, I want to write books. Also, I've tried to sell children's books, and I've tried to sell novels and stuff, and you get close and it doesn't go. I want to produce my own novels. I want this to branch out into music, where one of our next live action shows we're doing, it's about a girl in the music industry. It's called Scarlett, and she gets her demo stolen by a successful singer. So she has to get it back. So we're going to release the songs online once the show comes out. So we're going to be right on iTunes and all that. So there's other songs I've written. Look, more songs. But I want to have a music branch and a book branch, and I want to have a preschool branch and just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
All that kind of
But
thing.
don't you think? I mean, it's such a blessing that we are in a time when you can create your own stuff.
Exactly.
And you can, because for us, we do this show to give back because we want things that are going to inspire people and inform them and make them feel good and stronger and more confident.
Yeah, and why not do that? Why? Because
Yeah.
you could just easily be doing a show right now where we're sitting here gossiping about people and talking bad about
Right,
them.
or, do you see what she's wearing? Oh,
Exactly.
I mean,
we
it's
do
just,
that when the cameras aren't
Right.
rolling.
Oh yeah, we'll do that when
We
the
have
cameras
those
go
on the
on.
extra.
No, we won't.
Like
No,
all that stuff
we
you were
won't.
saying.
Exactly, I know.
No.
But you know what though? That takes a lot too, because it's so easy, especially in this business, to get caught up in talking about other people
Yeah.
or saying how bad this person is and that. And it's so easy. It's the challenge. The challenge is to not do it. Because the road to destruction is very wide, and but the path to awesomeness is very narrow.
Yeah.
But it's a hard path to find. You have to look for that
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
I always say, if you're following the crowd, you're probably going in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
I'd rather break away from the crowd a little bit if I can, and I like to encourage other people to do that too. Break away from that crowd, because you might have something special nobody else has.
The road less
If you
traveled.
follow the crowd, you get no further than the crowd.
That's true.
nice
And then
one.
exactly. And then if you're caught up in that crowd, the crowd goes this way, you have no choice but to go that way.
Yeah.
But if you're your own person, you can stand over here and go, bye everybody.
Yeah, you might get. It may take a different route. It may take you longer, but it's just the better way out of
I always
that,
say this too,
I
if it
believe.
takes a little longer, sometimes it's going to make it stronger. The Three Little Pigs, great story. Straw house, stick house, brick house.
Yeah.
Straw and the stick house were done really quick, but the brick house took longer, but that's what saved him from the wolf, And things that affect you instantly aren't good for you necessarily, like alcohol, drugs, affect you just like that. But it's the stuff that really takes time, like working
You should
out.
say that one more time for our camera guy to hear.
Oh yeah. We're not saying his name out loud. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He's cracking up over there going like, what? I only had
He
one.
is a wonderful.
There's a meeting after the
wonderful
show.
person.
We have a special meeting for you to go to. Yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
those things
absolutely.
aren't good for you. So it's the things that take a little longer.
Yeah.
Like building yourself up, like working out, eating well. Those take a little longer, but they pay off in the long
Well,
run.
we're in such an
Absolutely.
instant gratification
Oh, yeah.
time.
Microwave
And
society.
so, you know, and even when your internet's loading, you're like, it's taking so long. I mean, so I think that people's patience, that one of those P's,
One of those
is
P's in there,
really-
yeah, patience. And then
Yeah.
believe me, I was the first one to have to learn the patience, which is why it's so important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we had Carlos Arizaki sitting right there in that same
He was in
chair.
this chair?
Yeah, a few
You
gave me
months
the
ago.
same chair
The
as
same
Carlos?
chair. You probably have some cooties now.
He
Sorry,
prefers
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yeah, dude, my name's Carlos.
Carlos goes
Carlos.
like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
Carlos. Just so you know, Carlos does the voice of Mr. Crocker. On
Yeah.
Fairly-
So
That's
good.
right.
Oh, I know who you are, Turner. You're the one with the very good parents. Yeah, that's Carlos. Yeah.
So
So
when
good.
he was sitting there, we asked him, about advice, that he would have for our viewers, and I remember him saying, he said, never quit.
Yeah.
Don't ever quit.
Yep.
And then he went on to explain that, there was so many times when he wanted to quit, and when things were like dark, like nothing was happening
Yeah.
with his career for like
Yep.
a long time.
Yep.
And he was like, I think I'm going to quit. And I think I'm going to, but he didn't. He goes, had I quit, I would have never seen all these amazing things
Yeah.
that happened afterwards, and even right after that come to fruition. So.
Yeah, it's sticking with it. Like I said, it's like Carlos and I have an interesting history. He's worked on Fairly Oddparents for 15 years, forever. But before that, we were both on Family Guy, because when Seth sold Family Guy, Seth had me come and do a lot of voices.
Oh, cool.
And I actually did a character called Mr. Weed.
So you were the one that taught Seth how to do voices.
Oh, yes, Seth. I taught Seth how to do voices.
He
yes,
was
exactly.
the hack before he met you.
Huge hack. Actually, it's funny. Seth used to live in my old condo before he made it big. He lived in my condo. When I got married, I moved out of my condo, and Seth rented. Anyway, other story. But anyway, Carlos was. I was on Family Guy. I played Mr. Weed. He was like this Latino man. He was the boss of Peter Griffin, and I was doing this. Oh, hello. I was doing like I sound like Dracula kind of, but I was kind of doing a
Spanish Dracula.
A Spanish Dracula, yeah. But then they got rid of me as Mr. Weed and brought Carlos in because Carlos is an actual Latino guy.
Yeah.
And then so I would always tease Carlos because Carlos looks so Caucasian. I'd say, Carlos, you're whiter than me. I'd say, I say, your name isn't Carlos Alizraki, you're Charlie Allen. So I call him Charlie Allen.
Charlie
I call him all the time Charlie Allen. So Charlie Allen.
Hey, well, true or false, Seth MacFarlane created a character on Family Guy named after you.
Yes, Dr. Elmer Hartman. That's my real name is Elmer. Pausing for laughter. Dr. Elmer Hartman is a proctologist. So thanks, Seth. Thanks for the proctologist thing. No, but it's a good natured
Apparently,
barb.
he got a little bitter that you got married and he couldn't live. Yeah.
Seth is super
Oh.
bitter that I'm married and he's a billionaire. He must lay awake at night crying that he's a
When he
billionaire.
and Donald Trump are out hanging out,
Exactly. And I'm
they're
sure he's
like,
hanging out with Donald
that
Trump.
Hartman guy's home having dinner with his
Exactly.
family. Yeah.
Hey, we want to have Seth on the show. Do you think he'll do the show?
I think he'd love to do the show.
Okay, did you hear that,
Seth,
Seth?
Seth would
Has
love to do
anyone
the
ever,
show.
you guys actually have a bit of a resemblance. Has anyone told you that?
Well, I'm just going to say this because I'm on the show and Seth's not. Seth's always trying to look like me. So
yeah.
that's all it is. He's
Well, no,
younger
I'm
than me.
and also I'm getting a little
Yep.
Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, a little bit? A
Little bit.
The ears.
The
The
ears.
ears. The Pierce Brosnan ears.
I've been told Pierce Brosnan. I used to get a little John Stamos.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
When I had the mullet going in the 80s, I was
Oh, gosh,
yeah.
full John Stamos.
Full house.
Big
Full,
time.
Yeah.
It was me and John. You couldn't tell the difference. Yeah,
Eating a lot
big
of Greek
time.
yogurt.
Yeah.
You know, I used to also, back in the early 90s, I would actually pose for Tom Cruise movie posters. When they would do a Tom Cruise movie like The Firm and Far and Away,
Yes.
instead of getting Tom Cruise in for like 2 days to take comps of the posters, they would call me in as the Tom Cruise double.
Wow.
So the movie The Firm and Far and Away, I actually posed for those posters. We did like thousands of comps, and then it ended up just being Tom Cruise's picture on the poster, just like a big face of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to call you Maverick now. Is that okay?
I insist on that, actually. If you call
Mav.
me Mav.
Okay,
yeah,
Mav.
Mav, yeah. And this is Iceman.
Mav, I'm
Iceman, sure, Goose, yeah, there we go.
like that.
Exactly.
I like
Okay,
it.
talk to me, Goose. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It's an 80s reference, so nobody...
They know it. They all know it.
Okay, good. All right,
Does
good.
that make me Kelly McGillis?
And maybe
we
it
have
does.
we have the same vocal range.
Yeah, I
Kelly and
think you do, yes.
We go out for a lot of the same stuff.
Wow, good, yeah. You look a lot like you're good. Twins.
I know.
I'm so
Is she-
sure.
Yeah. Give me a number between 5 and 129.
I got married in 1992. How about 92?
Okay. If you, let's see, if everything in the world had to have the same odor,
Oh, boy.
what scent would you want it to be?
Wow, same odor. Boy. You know, I really... Okay, there's two.
Okay.
Let me think. I like Oreo cookies. Oof. Good smell, right?
Are you a open it, eat the cream? Are you a biter, a dipper?
I'm
what
both.
are you?
I'm both.
Yeah. Ooh,
Sometimes
look at you.
sometimes the twist, and then sometimes just the straight bite.
Do you
just gotta
dunk
go.
it?
Yeah.
I don't drink milk much anymore.
Okay.
But if I back in the day, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back in
yeah.
the cereal days.
Back
right?
in the cereal days, yeah. And the other one would be like, I would think like the beach. I like the beach.
Oh,
Smell of the
nice,
beach is good.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the beach is good.
Beach, yeah, not at low tide. High
sea
tide.
breeze.
We're talking Hawaii beach.
No seaweed,
Hawaii,
yeah.
Hawaii beach, high tide. That's a pretty good
Nice.
smell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are
I just got back
two
from Hawaii. I just got
fabulous
back from Hawaii.
did.
How about having some Oreos
Where were you in
at the
Hawaii?
beach
In Hawaii.
in Hawaii?
Look at that. See? Right
Where
there.
did you
we're
go in
talking-
Hawaii?
We went to Turtle Bay.
Oh,
We filmed, actually, it goes back because we did a lot. One of the cool things about Fairly Oddparents, it's had so many incarnations. We did a couple live action movies of Fairly
Yes.
Oddparents, and we did one in Hawaii. And we had done a Christmas one first, and we were on a mountaintop doing the North Pole in Santa's workshop for 15 days in Vancouver. It was freezing. So I sat there going, guys, next movie's in Hawaii.
You're like, I gotta write something different.
And then so they said, Butch, we want to do a third movie, and I went, fade in, Hawaii.
Ah!
Yeah, fade in Hawaii. That's one of the
Powerful.
joys.
He's a
That's
powerful
one of the
man,
joys,
people.
when you get to do your own stuff. But yeah, so we went to Turtle Bay in Oahu on the North Shore and shot this movie, and it was so beautiful. We go there all the time, my family and I, for vacation. It's awesome, man. And I learned how to surf for the first time. That was really fun.
Right on.
That's cool.
Right on. No, it's like hang loose. It's one of those.
yeah.
You go like, yeah, baby, hang
Yeah.
loose.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Dive her
that.
down.
Honolulu.
I hope
No,
I'm
no,
doing
that's
this
not-
right. Yes. Am I doing
What's
this
a
right?
Hawaiian
dude?
word that says like, you know,
Aloha,
Mahalo.
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 That's it.
Yeah.
Mahalo,
Aloha.
dude, I put it there, man. I just
We are
we are thrilled
That
that
you're here.
you
Thank
came
you so
down here and
much.
spent all this time with us and
And
sharing
he means
all this.
down. We're underground right now.
I'm talking
I
about
came
right
down
now.
We're in the
We
bunker.
are. We're in the
Times
bunker.
are-
We're in the bunker. No, but seriously, man,
Thanks.
listen, first of all, we know that all the shows you're doing and writing theme songs.
You're very busy.
And all this stuff, and you have kids and a wife, and you're only
Yeah.
28.
Yeah,
and
only
all these
28.
crazy stuff, and you make time to come here and talk to us and all of them. How cool is that?
Well,
Yeah.
I have clones. I have a lot of clones
Yeah.
of myself.
Thank you so much for all of
Nice
your
to meet
amazing
you.
art, for
Absolutely.
your
Oh, guys.
just your spirit, your heart. We love
Well,
you. You're always welcome here, and
It's great to be here,
continued
guys. And
abundance
thank you
to
for the
you.
opportunity. I really
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
man.
And thanks again. One last thing for letting me advertise the Noog Network.
Noog Network,
there we
ladies and
go.
gentlemen,
There we
right
go.
the
there.
Noog Network. Get
Thanks,
it.
everybody.
Hit the app.
NoogNetwork.com.
Thanks,
Gonna
guys.
change your life, baby.
Get your
man.
nickels.
Butch
ching,
Hartman.
ching, ching, ching.
We're gonna be back next time with a new VO Buzz Weekly episode.
Hey, this is Butch Hartman, and I just got buzzed with Chuck and Stacey. And you know what? It was warm and fuzzy.
Well, that concludes our 2 awesome episodes with Butch Hartman. We're going to be back next week with some new shows for you.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you guys, we really appreciate you watching every single week and all your comments.
do.
Keep them coming. It means the world to us and our team. And you know what, you guys?
You
always have time for a little buzz,
baby.